So we're cracking open a file today that on its face has been stamped case closed for decades.
Right, the death of Adolf Hitler.
But when you actually dig into the documents, we've got the Soviet Operation Myth dossier, some declassified CIA memos. The story gets very blurry.
It really does. I mean, everyone thinks they know the story. April 30th, 1945, the Berlin bunker.
A gunshot, cyanide.
Yeah, the bodies are carried out, burned in a shell crater, and that's it. End of story.
But that whole narrative, that official story, rests almost entirely on evidence held by the Soviets. And our mission for this deep dive is to see if it actually holds up.
And the very first piece you pull on, the whole thing just unravels.
It really does. Let's start with the bombshell from 2009, the DNA test. For decades, the Soviets had this skull fragment with a bullet hole.
The smoking gun.
The ultimate proof. But when American researchers finally got to test it, the DNA came back as belonging to a woman.
Woman between, 20 and 40 years old, not a 56-year-old man.
Not Hitler. So right there, the physical proof of a gunshot suicide, it just evaporates.
And the Operation Mythos case sort of suggests this confusion wasn't an accident. It might have been, manufactured.
Right. This was a geopolitical game. The files show that at the exact same time Soviet troops were securing the bunker, Stalin was privately telling President Truman something completely different.
That Hitler got away.
Yeah, that he escaped. Maybe to Spain, maybe Argentina.
It seems counterintuitive, but it gave Stalin the perfect excuse to keep a huge military presence in Eastern Europe, to keep the West paranoid.
So pure disinformation. But what about the fallback proof? They always pointed to the dental records.
They did. The dental bridges. The problem is who identified them.
The dentist's assistants, Keith Heuserman and Fritz Eckmann. And when you look at their situation, I mean, it's highly suspect.
Oh, completely. They were interrogated under extreme duress and then shipped off to the gulags. They would have said anything.
And there's another detail in the files that just doesn't sit right with me. The bridges were found loose in the crater.
Separated from the jawbone.
Exactly. If a body is cremated, the teeth don't just, pop out. They stay in the bone. Finding them loose just screams that the scene might have been staged.
It points to manipulation for sure. Then you've got the other forensic data, the blood on the sofa in the bunker.
It was type B.
But Hitler's own medical records clearly list him as type A.
A huge discrepancy. And that's what really opens the door to the body double theories, like Gustav Weller, the look-alike who was found executed around that time.
So if the scene was faked and he did slip away, you have to ask how.
Which brings us to the rat lines.
The escape networks, we know for a fact they were real. High-level Nazis like Adolf Eichmann and Josef Mengele used them to get to South America.
And it wasn't just a theory. You have those German U-boats, U-530 and U-977, showing up in Argentina months after the war ended.
Yeah, July and August 1945. That fueled all kinds of rumors that they weren't traveling empty.
But the weirdest piece of evidence we have is that CIA file from the 50s.
About Philip Citroen, the former SS trooper.
This one is just so specific. He claimed he met Hitler in Colombia, living under the name Adolf Hitler.
And he had a photo. It's grainy, but it shows Citroen next to a guy who looks, strikingly like an older Hitler.
The CIA never officially confirmed it, but they didn't throw it out either. They kept the file. They took it seriously.
Which is so frustrating because we can never truly verify any of this.
Because of the final act, 1970.
Yuri Andropov, the head of the KGB, just decides they're done playing games. He orders all the remains, the teeth, the bone fragments, to be totally destroyed.
They burned them, ground them to ash, and threw them in the Elbe River. The official reason was to prevent a neo-Nazi shrine.
But it also conveniently means no one can ever run modern DNA tests on that last bit of physical evidence. And the bunker itself is now just under a parking lot in Berlin.
Everything's gone, which leaves us with a final thought to chew on.
The Soviets created all this confusion to play mind games. But by muddying the water so much and destroying the evidence, did they accidentally create the perfect cover for a real escape? Or was all that confusion the only weapon they had because, maybe, they never really found him in the first place?